What's up guys, welcome back to another airsoft video. Today we're just going to be taking a look at a quick overview of my helmet setup. I've had a couple questions on my other videos of people asking questions about my helmet and how I've got it set up, so we'll just take a quick look at it today and I'll give you my thoughts and opinions on how I've got it all set up. So to start off with, the helmet itself is a TMC Carbon Bump carbon replica. The one with the 4 holes, or I guess it's 8 holes or something like that, 6 or 8 holes on the top, and it's got the thin shell, so not really replicating the weight and fully look of the ballistics versions, and just because this is used mainly for airsoft and hiking, I don't really need the extra weight or ballistic protection that would be offered from a legitimate ballistics helmet or the thickness and weight of a replica ballistic. And with the helmet cover on anyways, you can't really tell it's the bump version, so it's actually, I think, pretty practical in terms of that use. So starting off on the side here, we can see I've got the Unity Mark 1 arc rail adapter kit attached to my dual Comtac IIIs, and the Mark 1, I guess the Unity Mark kit works pretty well. When it's actually compressing onto your ears, the spring steel that it uses is really high tension, and I think that's a benefit over the Peltor arc rail adapters. Although I will admit that I do kind of miss the click out feature that the 3M arc rail adapters has. If you're sitting in muster or waiting for a game to start, sometimes it's just nice to have that headset off of your ears because they get pretty fucking hot, especially with the gel cups. You can rotate these back, but I will admit that the way I have my helmet wirings routed underneath the shell and underneath my pads, it's kind of difficult because when you pull this out, you can see here this cable is not routed behind my helmet. It kind of tends to want to pull that cable out. It's doable, but I don't really know if putting a right angle on this cable here that goes into the headset is really good. I don't really want to pinch the cable, so I tend to just leave them on, which is kind of a bummer, but I do like the whole low profile nature of the Mark adapters, which is pretty cool. Another thing I did replace on this helmet was this rail. So if you actually notice, the original TMC arc rails were just the normal cut, so it was like the 3 slots on the back. I actually replaced this with the FMA SF Highcut Rail, which has got the 4 notches on the back. That's how you can tell. So it's a little bit higher, comes up higher, which allows you more clearance for a headset. And all I did was I just dremeled. While I put this on, I marked it with a Sharpie, took it off, and then I just dremeled the plastic shell, and it was super easy. I definitely recommend people do that if they pick up this replica bump helmet, or even on a real one. I think I saw someone on the Night Vision Reddit who did that with his real OpsCore carbon bump, so it's definitely doable. I think OpsCore released like a 2021 version of the bump helmet that comes with the SF Highcut Rails now, but when I did that a year ago, 2019, 2020, that wasn't an option, and I had bought this helmet such a long time ago that I decided just to upgrade it. I guess one thing I should mention as well is the original TMC rails that came with the helmet, and I don't know if they fixed them now because I got this helmet years and years ago, was that real steel adapters. So something like the Unity kit, and on the other side I'll show you my HL1 adapter, didn't really fit very well. But I mean, in fact, the Mark 1 kit wouldn't even slide on the TMC rail. But with the FMA SF Highcut Rails, I think it's pretty close to real spec because the Unity adapter just fit on no problem. So rotating to the back here, actually we got my Canadian IR patch, got to represent there. So on the back here, I've got my dual com wires just tucked around the back here and retained with custom bungee I made. And all this is, and I use the same bungee on the front, is some 550 bungee cord and an SF clip. You can buy these off Amazon. It's kind of tight here, so I can show you at the front of the helmet. But all I did was do that, tie them up, and do a little shrink wrap and solder those off at the back there. So this just adds a little extra retention for my battery pack, as well as allows me to kind of store my dual com wires when they're not in use, because having those flop around is a pain in the ass. I do have, I'm not always running dual comms unless I'm like at a sim or something like that. So I have one of the radios leads taped up, just because if this drags on the ground, my helmet drags on the ground or anything, I don't really want the lead getting scratched up or really exposed to the elements. So if I can protect that the best I can, I'm going to try and do that. So on the back here, we've got the AB Night Vision. I think it's the ground optimized battery pack, or low profile night vision battery pack, something like that. But it's full metal, and I guess I opted for this over the 31 battery pack A because this was available for me to get in Canada. I got it used off some guy on a marketplace, as well as the 31 battery pack. I believe Argus Night Vision, the same people that make the binoculars in the front, they do make a replica 31 battery pack that has, you know, all the features. It's got the Fisher cable, and it's got working IR spotlight, or sorry, not spotlight, strobe on it, which is pretty cool. But again, I have no experience with that, and at the time I didn't have access to that. So another cool feature of the AB Night Vision battery pack is that it can use AA's and CR123s on either side. So it gives you some cool options there. And how I have it set up actually, which I think is a pretty slick way, is I've got the ASU Night Vision Anvis low profile battery pack counterweights, and they actually just screw in right to the bottom of the battery pack. So you can have a cool way to have a concise unit for your counterweight and battery pack all in one package. I thought that was pretty neat. And you can customize it. You can put a 1 weight or 2 weights. It's really cool. And I'll put a link to all this stuff in the description as well for anybody who's interested. So on the other side here, we can see again my cables, and one thing is you're gonna have, if you do use the AB Night Vision battery pack, you're gonna have to get a LiMo to Fisher adapter if you're using something like a 1431 or a PVS 31, because they use not LiMo connections, they use the Fisher connection. So this Anvis, so LiMo to Fisher adapter, was like not cheap. I mean, I was kind of cheesed about it, but you don't really have an option. It was like $100, and I don't know, maybe if someone else has found a cheaper option or someone makes a replica, let me know. But yeah, that's what you're gonna have to do. And on the top here, you can see I've got actually this little plug, and I thought that was pretty neat. That's just something I got off Amazon to protect the Fisher cable from the elements when it's not in use, because again, like I'm saying, that cable is $100 or something. I don't want it to get damaged, dust in there, dragged on the ground. So that's just a little extra protection. And what that little piece is, it's actually a bleed nipple cover or protector, 8mm, and I got them off Amazon, and they come in a pack of 4. They might not totally fit right out of the box, so on the inside of the female side, so this side here, I just had to, and it's going to be impossible to see on this shitty cell phone camera, I do apologize guys, is you just might have to bore it out a little bit with a knife, kind of just scrape around the edges with a really sharp hobby knife or something like that to kind of open it up, and then it'll fit perfectly over your Fisher cable. What else here we've got? So on this side, I've got my Callsign Patch. It's just white reflective for my airsoft team. And then I've got my HL1-D, I believe. So it's the IR version, which has the 3 yellow and 2 IR, as well as the IR strobe. And to be honest, it works pretty well under Photonis Gen 2. And it's perfect for any kind of admin work. Actually, it's almost too bright for admin, but for my purposes, it's pretty good. And you might notice I have it mounted inverted. It's because if you have it mounted this way, the battery compartment, you see that angle, it actually might impact your arc rail adapters or your headset, and it's really fucking annoying actually. I have that mounted to a Hoptic USA custom HL1 mount, and we can see how low profile it is. If you guys have any experience with the normal HL1 mount, it's so high profile and disgusting on the helmet. So having something that creates a really low profile silhouette is what I was looking for. And I don't really need the ability to rotate the mount, because I think that's what the original Surefire one allows you to kind of rotate the entire light, but then it sticks out like an inch from your helmet. So it literally, if you're going through a door or something, it can get ripped off pretty easy. So I thought that was a good addition. And I will put a link in there in the description of this video on how to actually make one of those. Someone put a guide on Facebook, so that's pretty cool. Or you can just buy it from Hoptic USA. I believe it was $30, and I honestly can't. I think that should be the only way on how to mount these to your helmet, because the stock solution is just, I think, absolutely ridiculous. So let's rotate to the front here. On the front, I've got my 1431s mounted to a Wilcox L4G24, and I've definitely got a bunch of videos on this on my YouTube, so you can check those out. I won't really go into that into too much depth. And I've got the mount attached to a Naruto's universal shroud, and it works perfectly. And I can't remember, I think maybe these shrouds are even ITAR free. So that might be a benefit for all you guys outside of the States like me. Again, I've got it, same thing, like the bungee on the back, just a 550 bungee cord with the SF clip, and you can see here those SF Amazon clips work perfectly fine, and they fit into that small hole for the 1431, so it's a perfect setup there, I think, and pretty slick. Goggles themselves, Argus 1431s. I've got lift filters on here just to protect from green lasers and any possible BB strikes. I know it's a really expensive solution for BB protection, but I saw some stupid people using green lasers as well at some night games, so I thought it was a good idea. They've got Carson rears, eyepieces, and I don't know who makes these, probably Apache objective lenses. I might consider switching them out to the Carson objectives sometime, but it's not really a priority for me, because I think most of the bending of the light is done by the eyepiece, so those are Carson, so I'm not really getting zone 3 distortion or weird chromatic aberration. And I think the objective pieces just really set the f-stop or the aperture, so they just allow a certain amount of light in, which I think all PVS 14s are 1.3 or something like that. Someone, I'm sure, can correct me in the comments below, but let me know. The tubes I've got are Photonis Supergen Autogated white phosphor, and they're basically Fallout Intense tubes, or Fallout Echo tubes, as Echo tubes are Fallout 4G. I think that's how Supergen works, or maybe they're Fallout XR4 or XD4. But they're pretty good. Basically all I need for airsoft, and I'll probably do a video of just the binoculars so I can go through some of the tube specs and some in tube footage, and I think that'll be pretty good. But for now, we'll just gloss over that and talk about the helmet. So what about the rest of the helmet? I've got an Odin, TMC Odin mesh helmet cover, which is pretty cool. It's basically a replica of the OpsCore mesh helmet cover. The only difference is the and I don't know if you can see there, the female Velcro is multicam, whereas on the real OpsCore mesh cover, it's Coyote. But, you know, the Odin cover from TMC was like $20, and the real OpsCore mesh cover is like $100, so forget that. What I've got here is basically just some jute, like burlap sack that I've cut up and just weaved through the loops on the helmet cover to add some scrim a la 75th Ranger Battalion style. I think helmet scrim's cool, and I think everybody should use them, because having a fucking chrome dome on your head in a forest is super recognizable. So I think everybody should scrim up their helmets if it was up to me. Other than that, on the inside, I've got just some Skydex pads to replace the normal TMC pads, which were garbage, and then I replaced the strap with a real OpsCore H-nape, because that's basically required for any night vision binocular you use to secure it to your head and stop the helmet from fucking tilting down and being super uncomfortable. That's basically it. So I hope you guys like this video. We can check out my helmet setup. And yeah, if you guys like this content, just make sure to like and subscribe. Add any comment. I try to be good about replying to the comments. So if you guys have any comments or questions about this, just let me know. And I'll probably try and film some footage of the night vision itself and get that up on YouTube. Although it is a little hard through the phone. I don't have like a ANVRS, what are they called? You know, basically the clip-on video adapters. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you liked it. Bye.